So I will say, actually, in Israel, there's a very prominent tradition that came from the Moroccan Jews that's very prominent right now in Israel. Everyone does it, all ethnical groups. It's called the Mimuna. So yeah, it's the night, the eve of the ending of Passover. And the whole idea is to make pastries and music and dancing. And yeah, we got out of the desert. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I hear we're doing something similar here, so that's great.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So, and on Zoom, we have Sir Clarence, Stephanie, Kathy Bell, our rabbi, Kara, my love, David, Kathy, Richard Stone, and Joe Golden. In the classroom, we have Jeff and Mary and Phyllis, and I am sharing my screen here. I don't know if it probably doesn't look great. The projection.
I am going to move over to that side so you don't have to swivel.
No, it's better, I think. So we've had a break last week. And so yeah, we had Passover. Happy belated Chag Sameach to everyone. But yeah, so we had a break last week. So what I want to do today is, on top of new material, start with a rehearsal of last class, which was also on Zoom. So yeah, I think it's healthy. As we know, we have unscheduled events or unanticipated things happening. So we adjust and adapt. So I did want to address one thing on the syllabus. In the classroom, it's projected. You should see it shared on the screen. So last class, today is technically lesson 9, and I can't believe we're almost done. But as you know, we kind of had a mishmash of material. Today, I was actually going to do lesson 8, the material from lesson 8, which was a specific particle that over the weekend, I realized, yeah, it's very difficult. It's one of the more difficult ones. It's better to do it the next class. And what I want to do today is verbs, verb mold, roots. Today will be a little bit more talking. But yeah, if we did in the past if we did last class possessive pronouns, and we did before that pronouns and days of the week, and we're building a vocabulary and so on and so forth, now I want us to start building sentences. Henceforth, today we're gonna learn about verbs, how they are built in Hebrew. So that part will be a little bit more me talking, but then I want us to practice. I want you all to see the different types of verbs. I will caveat and say we're only going to do specific ones. So the present and present progressive ones. Example given: walk, walking. Met. So we're going to stick to that, but in terms of building a foundation for future knowledge, we'll also speak about the different conjugation patterns, the molds, as I referred to them in the past, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna stop my sharing. My next presentation will be this one. Okay, but yeah, I guess now I want us to start with a rehearsal. I still have that glare here, I can see. Can everyone see this well, this part? Or is it too glary? Like this. Is this better?
What's it coming up? I think these lights over here.
I think it's the window
That
there,
one?
that way the sun goes down that way, and it always does that every Tuesday.
Yeah. Let me see if we can-
That is a lot better like that there.
Yes, sir?
That is a lot better like that there.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better now, sir.
Yes, it is. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
Could you scoot
Oh
the
yeah, I
board?
think we're good now. It's only coming from that one, and I don't think there's something we can do about that one. But yeah, I think we should be able to see. I'm gonna pin this so I can see. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll move here.
Yeah.
Well, when I get to here, I'll just read out loud, I suppose. But yeah, I pre-written 2 examples on the board here, and this time I was smart enough to actually number them.
Matani, what happens? Swivel that around a little bit. That side,
Here,
yes, toward us. Does that help?
that will work actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now at least you can see it's a hay here. Bit better. Thank you.
More swivel?
Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now we're,
Okay.
let's,
So it should be better now. And forgive my being tired, and I know everyone's tired. The days are long, the time is short, and the hour is late, I would say. But yeah, 2 examples. I'll do a little bit more after these. I want to practice here our possessive pronouns, but yeah, as we go more and more into the material, we're using everything. I forgot to vowel this one. But yeah, we'll have our the and all of those things we already learned. So now I want us to practice possessive pronouns because that's where we left off. And then we'll carry on to verbs. So since we're all tired, I'm going to start with that first one. Okay, I'm going to start it slowly. We have our hey with the kamatz, making it a ha. Dalit with the kamatz, making it ha da. Then we have the resh with the 2 dots called shva, less important the name, but it means no vowel. So ha da r, ha da r. And then we have our chaf with the emphasis inside it, which makes it like a K sound. Immediately after, we see the vav with the dot above it, the cholam, making it a ko. So the kaf is carried by the o. So ha, da, re, ko. And then we have our final noon. So hadal kon. This is a word we used before. Does anyone remember it at home, in the class?
Passport.
Awesome. We're very well, ma'am. So Phyllis said it's a passport or the passport. And we have our the here, or the particle ha, which is equivalent to the. Darkon, which means passport. And then the possessive pronoun. We have the shin with the 3 dots underneath called tzere, that makes it an e sound. So she. And then the lamed with the dot underneath, she-li, and then the yud carries the sound. So hadarkon, sheli. We know this word means the passport. What does this mean? Mine. The passport, mine or of mine. So we understand it is my passport. So I'm going to transliterate here underneath. This is, for example, 1. Hadakon. Li means my passport. Can you see it if I write this size? Okay, awesome. My passport, sheli. We can already start seeing the patterns. Last time, sir, you said that when pluralized male, it'll end with a im, or the final mem, and the pluralized females will end with the noon. So here, for example, sheli means mine. It also sounds very much like ani. So the sounds repeat. Do they always know? But here we can start seeing that. So yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Oh no, I was just saying okay. I was reading it.
Okay. Would you like to read the next one, sir?
Hatisah Shalonu.
Very well. Sorry. You've been practicing, huh, sir?
A little bit.
That's great. That's great. We need a lot of it. So, Sir Clarence read it. Ha tisa shelanu, the flight of ours. Should have asked you to translate as well, Sir Clarence. But yeah, ha tisa, the flight, shelanu, ours. And note that the possessive pronouns comes after that which belongs to us. I'm going to transliterate below. This is for example 2. Our flight.
You said the possessive comes after.
Well, sir, a moment. Forget any letters. I sometimes forget the letters. Sorry, sir.
The possessive always comes after.
Yeah.
Would that be any place in the sentence?
Well, here's the thing. We're still doing simple sentences, right? So in this sense, our flight, it's kind of backwards. In Hebrew, it's the flight, ours. You know, and that will repeat. That will repeat. I don't remember off the top of my head if there are irregulars. I'll write that down to make sure. But this is like, as far as I remember, this should be 100%.
Hey, Martini,
Yes, sir.
would the actual translation be word for word? Wouldn't it be the flight of ours or
Yes,
our
sir.
flight?
So remember how we said there's the literal translation and then
Right.
how we understand it? The
Right.
literal translation will be the flight of ours.
Right.
We will deduce, yeah, our flight.
Right.
It's almost like saying, I remember when I studied English and I was in 5th grade and I fancied myself pretty decent at it. And then a Canadian kid came. They made an aliyah, his family. And the teacher told me, you know what, you want to know what's the difference between you and him? She didn't say it like that, but she asked a question. She was like, how do you ask someone if they are capable of skiing? And I was like, okay, let's think. Do you know how to ski? And then she asked the Canadian kid, what did he say? Can you ski? So that exists in Hebrew as well. There are definitely several ways of saying one thing, sometimes frustratingly so. But yeah, good point, sir. Good point. And we said about the pronoun being before. After, sorry. So I'm gonna make sure about that, sir, and get back to you. And please, by all means, if anyone else has questions, I have no shame in saying I don't know or I'm not sure. I go back and check. I checked a bunch before starting this class because, yeah, we speak it. We don't think about how it's built every day. I'm gonna erase the blackboard. get on the two other examples, and then we'll get started on the new material. I also want to say, I want to remind us that this is a pilot class, so I built the class. I want to say I surprised myself with how little I strayed from the syllabus and what I had planned. But yeah, I still strayed from it a little bit. So I'm definitely, and on the last class, I'll hand out a feedback questionnaire, what to do better, what to keep, what to remove, what to do more, what to do less, type of thing. But yeah, we have time, we'll get to do everything we set out to, which is probably the smartest thing I ever did. And I will say I am upping the difficulty as we go. The idea is for you to be able to do it without me reading it letter by letter. So this will be example 1, and then example 2. So as we go along, the idea is to remember what we did learn so we can build on top of it. Okay. So then figure anything. I made a mistake here for all those who already wrote here. The dot is on the left. Yeah, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. But please, by all means, if you do notice me forgetting something and something doesn't add up, please raise awareness. Say something, because sometimes I forget myself. Someone tells me something, right in the middle of the word, I forget to finish the word. So by all means. And we have Noam joining us. Good evening, brother. Good to see you. So I'm continuing. Let's do example number 1. Any volunteers are trying to read it? No, yeah. Any volunteers at home and Zoom and the class?
Hashmalut Shilohin.
Very well, sir. One mistake. You read it perfectly, except one mistake. Since the dot is on the left here, it's
Yes.
S. So you want to try reading it through?
Yeah, Hasmalut Shilohin.
Nice. Very well, sir. Do you know what it says?
No, I don't. The something of ours. Or theirs. The something of theirs.
Theirs. Are they male theirs or female theirs? So a group of men.
Those are that it can go either way, but if it had to be one way, it'd be they males.
So specifically, this one is the females. You can see
Female?
by the final noon,
Ah, yeah,
but
yeah.
very well, sir, very well. Look, I don't want to put you on the spot. You're doing great, sir. Thank you for participating. And I also want to say, even if we get 70% of something right, and then are corrected or hearing it again or reviewing, that's the way to improve and correct mistakes.
What does it mean in English?
So in English, we didn't use this word yet. I kind of tried to make it obvious that it's females, but hasmalot means the dresses, kind of less so these days. Huh? Yeah, okay. The dresses of theirs. Okay, hasmalot shelahen. We just said, like last time you said, sir, that possessive pronouns when ending with the noon. So the final noon will be for females. Big secret here, the final mem is for males. We'll do this in a minute. Well said though, sir, that in Israel use either or, people will understand. This is about groups of people, okay? But yeah, if it had to be, if we want to be sticklers about it, this is female, and I'll transliterate and then we'll do number 2.
Yeah, I don't mind getting it wrong a little bit here and there because that helps me learn the next time.
Sir, getting it wrong is how I am able to speak fluently in English nowadays.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna transliterate here below it. So so hasmalot, I added an H here so people won't mix it up with small like AL sometimes does. Hasmalot shelahen. And that's their dresses. Here, I guess. Or below, I suppose.
Last time, the vowel correct on shelahen, the last vowel.
Here,
Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
I could be wrong. If it is wrong, it'll have another dot here.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Getting an echo. Yeah, you're right. And then this is also why I ask, because I get it wrong. I think in my head, I don't necessarily look at the print. So shelahen. I'm gonna write the translation here, just to point it out. Their dresses. And this is speaking to plural females, or speaking about plural females. I remind us that the way I sign plural females is PF. PM is plural masculine. And also when you study online, and usually that's usually how they do it. So for the sake of consistency. And example 2. Does anyone want to try reading it, translating it? This is actually a word we did use before.
Tisim shelahem.
Well done, sir. So Jeffro read it, hakartisim shelahem. I repeat, hakartisim shelahem. Do you know what it means, sir?
No.
Okay. So kartisim, we have ha, we have the here, we know that. Kartisim, we can already see that it's pluralized, right? With the ending im. One kartis is a ticket. Kartisim, tickets. So the tickets here. And then we have our possessive pronoun, lahem, which means theirs. Grammatically speaking, since it ends with a final mem here there, it's plural males. It can also mean a group of both. So I'm going to transliterate and translate here below. Shelahem. Can you see what I write here? Okay, this is an E. Their tickets. Now, while everyone's writing, I'm going to preamble what I'm going to do next. Okay. Yeah, good on time. I'm going to preamble what I'm going to do next. After last class on Zoom, and I remind us that Zoom is not my element, but there were two possessive pronouns I forgot last time. I'll do them real quick, but this gives us an opportunity to have a head start into our next material that we are doing today, which is verbs. And hopefully what I want to get out of today is for you all to have the capability of identifying the verbs that we are going to use. And I'm specifically using stuff that either are easy grammatically or I know we will use in Israel in terms of flying, traveling, attending tourist attractions. Yes, sir?
So dress is obviously female.
Yes, sir, apparently.
Tickets are male, but the reason they're male is a group of men have the tickets?
No, it's because the noun itself is male.
Okay.
That's a wonderful question. I'm going to erase the board and address that. So Jeff asked a wonderful question. I don't know if on Zoom we heard it, but the question was, is it male because the pronoun is male? Am I getting it correctly? The answer is no. The answer is because the noun is male. Okay, so if the noun is male, we will pluralize it male. If the noun is female, we will pluralize it female. I want to do those two words real quick and then carry on, since we spoke about them. Okay, so we had two words. I'm gonna make them singular. One dress. And one ticket. It's without a yud, right? No. Simla bli yud, without a yud.
You can wiggle
Yeah.
about.
Curtis. Okay, this is a dress. This is a ticket. You remember when we spoke about the male versus female lesson, we spoke about how at the end of it, the end of the word will attest to what it is. So simla, the ending a, that attests to it being female. So when pluralizing it, it will be smalot. So ending ot. Simla, that's the a sound. Translate next to it. Simla, you can hear the a. And And then kartis, you can hear that the samech at the end is a consonant. So, and we said that that's how the male nouns are. They end with a consonant. So kartis, no vowel on the samech. It's male, kartis. And when we want to conjugate it or pluralize it, kartisim, right? Because im is how we end with male and ot is how we end with female. I'm gonna write it down next to it, right? Because I did it. Malot. You can hear the ot. And then kartisim. Kartisim will be exactly like this with so tickets. Dresses, tickets, we can hear the ending im. Here, this is male, this is female. Sorry, sir. I just because since I wanted to do it well.
No much.
Hey, Matani,
What is?
Matani, can you hear me, Matani?
Yes, sir.
Now on tickets, I
Yeah.
think he was trying to say is tickets male because it's all males, or is it male for some other reason? The reason, like you said, the noun is male, so you pluralize the ending also, but tickets can mean either male or female, or you could have males in the group and females in the group. It's a non-gender word, but it's a male masculine noun.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well said, sir. Well said. And this is how we see it. Remember how we said we need to be a little bit of detectives? This is how you see it. So consonant sound at the end. This is a noun, an object. Courtesia, just because Noam said it. It's like one of those bus tickets, you know, you have like several
Punches.
punches.
Yeah.
So that's a courtesia. But as you can hear, that's a conjugation. If you remember from when we spoke about nationalities, it's the same kind of conjugation. Russia, a Russian. Anglia, an English woman. Courtesia, it's a female conjugation. To mean that ticket for the bus. But yeah, just because you brought it up. So people are still writing. Next, I'm going to do, so we did ours, mine, theirs, ours, and then I realized I forgot yours. Okay, so speaking to someone or to a group of people, it's quick, I'll do it right after I erase the board. Here's what I want to point out. And I kind of was building towards it. This is almost, so all the different conjugations, how we manipulate the verbs, the words, and all that, it's almost like a calculus table. If you know what to seek out, and you know what the sound is, eventually you will be independent, and you won't need the calculus board or whatever. So I'm going to start erasing the board. We already know we have a way to speak as an individual. So me, I am speaking. We know there is a way that we conjugate for females. We know there's a way we conjugate for males, or female, one male. Okay, so that's already those are already several columns of the calculus table, you will. So, and this is important going ahead into verbs. because let's say I'll take a verb, okay? A verb will have a way of me saying it as myself. That depends on whether or not I'm a male or a female. There's a way of how we would describe a group of males committing an action, a verb. Same for a group of females, same for a woman alone, a male alone. We already know these things. I'm pointing it out so we will know how to expect it, or we will know to expect it. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is yours. Okay, we did possessive pronouns, we did mine, ours, theirs, hers, his. And then I forgot we didn't do yours. So I'm going to do yours. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write all of the examples. So talking to a male, to a female, to a group of males, to a group of females. Okay, I want us to start practicing thinking in several. What I said though about remembering your own gender to start still stands though. No, never. Okay. So we already know all of these mean yours. Okay, all of these mean yours. Okay, I'm talking to someone and in the middle of a conversation with him. Yours. Okay, this is yours. Note our final half here. Its vowel will come here. Other versions look like this. And then the vowel will come like this. I like to do it this way because it's more of a identifier. Okay, so all of these mean yours. This one, I'm gonna number them. One, two, three, four. I'm gonna start with number one. We have our shin dot on the right, making it a sh. Okay, 3 dots, making it an eh, sh. Lamed, 2 dots, making it a no vowel, shel. And then our final chaf, no emphasis inside, leaving it like a KH. So, and it has a kamatz. So shelcha, shelcha. Okay, this is talking to one male. Okay, single male. I'm going to translate it here. This is talking to a single male. Shelcha. Questions about shelcha? I repeat, shelcha. We just used the word kartis, which means ticket. So let's say I want to say your ticket to let's say Jeff. Hakartis shelcha, your ticket. And I've heard this many times at the airport. Hakartis shelcha, your ticket. Hakartis shelcha. Note that the possessive pronouns we slur the most. So shelcha will become shcha, shcha, and yeah, but people will understand. Shelcha. Carrying on to number 2. Lo and behold, singular female. She la. Okay, tsere, or the 3 dots making it an kamatz, and then the 2 dots. Note that it's here for the final chaf. Shelach, yours. Again, all of these mean yours, depending on who we address. Shelach. This is talking to a single female or singular feminine. Okay, so using the same example, your ticket, הכרטיס שלך, Mary, הכרטיס שלך, Phyllis, your ticket. Carrying on to number 3, because I really want to do verbs more than this. And follow this. Okay. Example number 3. Still, all of these mean yours. Okay, all of these mean yours. And they all start with the same vowel, she. In this case, she, la. We have the chaf without the emphasis with the 3 dots, making it as she, la, he, m. And we have our final mem. Shelachem. So we just using the same example, kartis, the transliterate. But does someone remember what plural tickets are in Hebrew? We said one ticket is kartis. Nice. Well done, sir. הכרטיסים שלכם, let's say Jeff and Mary are boarding a flight, they're asking for their tickets. הכרטיסים שלכם? And note that I immediately slur it. I said shlachem, shlachem. We slur it. Shelachem. Automatically I slur it. Okay? So, but here's the thing. So going back to that awesome comment you made, sir, that ending with a mem, ending with a noon, determine the gender. Ending with a mem says all males or both. Okay, which is why you and Mary, I will say shalachem. Grammatically speaking, use either or, people will understand. But yeah, so this is plural masculine, again, grammatically speaking. Brings me to our final example. Shelachem, we use the example hasmalot shelachem. So shin, same thing, didn't change. Lamed with the kamatz, chaf without the emphasis, and the 3 dots, and final noon, reading it out. Shelachem. Yours. I repeat, all of these mean yours. Okay, shelachem, yours. And I am going to move aside so everyone can write. Oh, this is plural. So here's the thing, and as you can see, we have 4 examples here. Lone male, lone female, plural, plural. As we get to the verbs, we have many other conditions of a verb. We have dependent verbs, independent verbs, reflexive, active, there are a million verbs, a million types of verbs. A key feature to learning verbs is to know their infinite level, or at least is what worked well for me and Max. Yeah, I didn't even say, Max, my teacher's assistant, had too much homework, so left me hanging today. So note that we have a scale of effort here. We started with the alphabet, with words, me, myself, I, ours, us. So continuing in that scale of effort, I want us to start detecting more and more. I'm going to erase for the sake of moving on to verbs. Starting here. Thank you, ma'am, for cleaning the board. Okay. So now I actually think I'm going to move on to the presentation. And I am going to send everything to you. Note that today we didn't have a hard copy of the worksheet. We do have a worksheet for today. I'm sending it out. I sent it late because I was working on it. I made that change in the weekend. You'll have it today in your inbox alongside the presentation I'm going to use. I'm going to share screen. First. So I'm opening up my presentation here. You can't see it at home, but in the classroom they can see. I have that annoying share bar. I constantly need to move. So the way I build the presentations is that they carry on from last class and start a new material. Specifically this one does material we didn't do yet because it was supposed to be, I flipped it. Today we're doing that. So lesson 9. And I've been talking about the infamous roots of a verb. I mentioned a little bit about the molds. I'm going to less go into the molds. I want you to know that it's there for the sake of future learning. And I want us to do a little bit of verbs so you at home can start compiling sentences. So those are the goals of the lesson. So yeah. And this continues on from what I said. Verbs will have a cajillion conjugations or shapes to them, okay? Here we have an example. I think it speaks by itself. We have, so most roots will be 3 letters. Some are 2, some are 4. Rarely are the ones that are 5. But the idea about the roots of a verb is that it's most stripped down version, okay? And the reason I say that is because from that version, we start building our meaning, our sentences, our words. So in this sense, you have mem, I'm moving my cursor on all of these. So mem, lamed, and then a final chaf. Oh, I just said you'll see it sometimes like this without the little hunchback. So mem, lamed, chaf. Alone, it has no meaning, but that is the root of reigning or being, or maybe that's not the best of examples, but reigning. Okay, so we see that word a lot in the prayer books. Melech, a king. So here on the right, Melech, king. Malchut, kingdom. Malach, ruled. And we have other examples. These are 3. But note that this is, a king is like a role. It's almost an adjective. Kingdom, how would you say it in English? It's almost like, it's not specifically this one. Would you call it the infinite version or a noun? Yeah, so this is a noun. Malach is past tense, ruled. And I will surprise us. This will have a bunch other branches, okay? This specific root has a lot more words to it. These are 3 examples, okay? And I want to.
Hey, Matani,
Yes, sir.
could I say in a sentence, Melech David, Malach Yerushalayim.
Yeah,
King David ruled in
yeah.
Israel.
Very well,
All right.
sir. Very well.
That would be correct.
Well done. Well done. That's
Thank you.
very well. I wanted to show you. Where was it? Yeah, so I'm gonna send you all this. I found it yesterday. This is a website called Pe'alim, which literally means verbs, okay, in Hebrew. But basically you will be able to put here a verb. It gives you a Hebrew keyboard if you don't have one on your computer. And then it gives you the root, the meaning, and all of its different conjugations. So for example, we just used mem, lamed, chaf. There you go. The root is mem, lamed, chaf. The infinite, to rule, limloch, and I'll get to that in a minute. Don't need to remember it. And then view all forms. It'll have all the different shapes: past, possessive, present progressive, past progressive, whatever. And so, yeah, I'm going to send this as well. It's a wonderful tool. I wanted to show it to you before I continue. Okay, so now that we know what, before I continue, any questions about roots, about the roots of a verb at home, in the classroom? Okay, just to repeat intermittently, it'll be the most stripped down version of the verb. From it, we will build all the different conjugations depending on what we want to say. I am continuing on. Which brings us to molds, okay? I say molds, but it's more like patterns. In Hebrew, we will call them binyanim or tavniyot. Binyanim literally means buildings. Tavniyot literally means molds. So because I was taught the latter way, I remember it as molds. Other people will remember it as buildings. Less important about the words. When the word is important, I write it down. But yeah, so patterns, okay? And where will we see those patterns? I'm gonna write something down on the board. I'm still referring to the presentation. I'll close my sharing in a minute. Okay. So molds, how we will conjugate the verbs. And every verb is a part of a different mold family. Okay, that depends on how the word is built and its tonality. And relating to all of those, if you remember from our first class, all the historical and the influences that Hebrew had. I will say I don't want you to get stuck on this. I want you to know that it exists. So for future learning, it'll be easier for you. And I will say the way we identify a mold is we manipulate. Okay, so let's say I have a very complicated conjugated word and I'm not sure what it is. I'll turn it male in the past. Okay, so past tense, male. And that is the identifier. Less important, I really wanted it written in the presentation, so you'll have it. So here we have examples. I wrote 2 other examples here on the board. To be honest, they're less good. But each one of these here we see is a mold. It's a pattern. So, okay, so the most simple one, which we will learn, we see it on the outside circle. Pa'al. Pa'al. And note that all of these have the same root. Okay, I'm moving my cursor in all of these Hebrew words. All of them have the same root. Okay? What will change is the added letters and the vowels. Okay? But as you can see, that changes in terms of what is the aim. So simple verbs, what we will do, pa'al usually is what you'll see. I'm going to stop my sharing for a second. That's usually how you'll see it. Again, in male past tense, okay? So simple verbs, when they are male past tense, will usually have this pattern of vowels, okay? And just to put it out there, they use the way they do it, the way they teach it. The example they always use, and we just saw it on the presentation, I'll get back to it in a second, is the root Pa'al. Okay, that's the root of it. We saw it on the presentation that I'm going to go back to. That literally means action or verb. Okay, so the reason why they used this specific word for all of these different molds is because it means verb. Okay, it means action or verb. A verb in Hebrew is literally po'al, an action. I'm going to write that down. Verb in Hebrew. Yes. A verb, but literally it'll mean an action. Yeah. Which is why you always see this specific word being used. I did, by the way, I'm going to stop. Sure, I wrote it down on the board. Okay, po'al, a verb, or AKA literally an action. The root of it, pei, ein, lamed. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And here we see the different molds. This is pa'al. Okay, this is the simplest mold or building. We have pi'el, hif'il, hitpa'el, huf'al, pu'al, nif'al. All are for different meanings we want to convey when talking. Again, for now, the essence is knowing that it's there. Okay. But yeah, I'm already setting the stage for an advanced class. Okay, so we're still sharing the screen. Move here a little bit. And as we saw a moment ago, I gave 4 examples. Now, in order to learn 5, now we're going to learn 5 for the sake of verbs. The one I added is the infinite form. Okay, both in English and in Hebrew. I did it on this rubric on the left. I am now moving my cursor around it. And yeah, it's very fast, became overloaded, so I did it in the same rubric. But yeah, So the infinitive version is important. And we have 3 examples here. I want to talk about them. Note that what I did here is past tense, singular male, because that's how we identify them all. So the first one, went or walked. Halach, maybe I should make it bigger for the sake of right now. Can you see it that way? Okay. Halach. Maybe I'll just do it on the screen. You'll have it on the presentation. But we can already see that when I turn it male past tense, and I am going to do female, and starting with the male, we can immediately see the mold, okay? Halach. See the mold? That mold identifies to us that it's the simple pattern, okay? The most basic one, Pa'al, halach. So this is male past tense. He walked. I don't want you to remember the past tense, but for the sake of right now, or went. So we remember habaita, right? Habaita, which means home or homewards. Halach habaita, went home or walked home. Okay? Went or walked. We have these examples on the presentation. Remember, this is past tense. Okay? Now I do want to do present tense. Okay, so do you want me to do the female version of the past tense? I'll do it for the sake of it. So same thing. Walked or went, except this time it's a she. Okay, singular male, singular female. This is singular male. But putting past aside, we can see the root of it. So one of the reasons why we do past tense male is because it strips it down. Okay, it helps us find the root. So we can see it's bare, it's stripped form already. Now, how do I say walking? Okay, walking, I am walking. For the sake of the matter, let's do that example. I'm gonna write it down at the bottom. I am walking, okay? And I can be either male or female, right? So I'm gonna do both. Starting with a male. So we know ani. If anyone's done writing here, I'm gonna delete that. Ani holech. Can I erase here? Ani holech. If I am a male, I'm gonna read it with you, but I'm gonna write a female first. Don't forget. Okay, I'm gonna erase the top here. So we have the two examples. And I want to add a third, the infinitive one right after, but for the sake of right now, let's read it together. First two words are the same, don't change. Ani, I am, me. We have hey, yes. It has the cholam, vav with the cholam after it, so the hey carries the sound. Ho, lamed with the three dots, making it hole. And then the chaf, no dagesh, no vowel, holech. I am walking, or I am going. So walking and going, will it be interchangeable? Depends on the context. But this is a male talking, okay? Ani holech. Jeff, you will say ani holech. I'm gonna transliterate. Ani holech. I am walking right now. Ani holech. And then the translation is over here. Either walking or going. And this is a single male talking. Okay, so let's say I'm talking to someone in Israel, a friend, we're both males, I'm alone, and then I've had enough, I'll be like, ani olech, I'm going. Ani olech, I'm going. Shit, I think I even said that to Noah a few times. Ani zaz, zaz, that's actually another, it's also pal. It's a good word to teach actually. Remember the next time. Ani holech, and surprise, surprise, the bottom one is a female talking. So ani didn't change. Ho le holechet. If you remember, consonant for the male, it for the female. You remember from the gender lesson. The ending will sometimes the add-on in the beginning, sometimes usually the ending is what will give away what it is in terms of plural, singular, male, female. So we want to look at the end. Ani holechet, same thing. Let's say, Mary, you're visiting a friend and you had enough. Ani holechet, I'm going. It also means I'm walking, but depends on the conversation we're having. I'm going to transliterate. Ani holechet, here it's singular female, singular feminine. Same can be, if you remember, he or he and she. So who, does someone remember what who means? That's the sorry, he, yeah. Hu holech, same, so it's the same word, right? Single male. Hu holech, he is walking, he is going. It can also mean leaving in the right context. Let's say someone's leaving early. I'm like, oh, what? He's leaving? Holech? But that depends on the context. Hu holech. He is going or walking. Same for female. He הולכת. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down here. We can see again the et, the consonant on the male. He הולכת, she is walking, she is going. I'm gonna erase beneath it, so I'll have time, so I'll have room. He הולכת, she is going or walking. Ran out of room, but I think you can understand. Questions so far? Now, if we were to, oh, please.
Can you say in Hebrew, I'm walking to run?
אני הולך לרוץ, yeah. Yeah, that's actually a very good example because to run is an infinite. And that's exactly what I was gonna get to. Right after, so this is as always, single male, single female. Now we need to do plural males, plural females. And to that, I want to add to the infinitive. Okay? Because once you see all of those, and we have that more organized on the presentation and on the worksheets I'm going to send to you, it becomes a calculus table. But once you get the gist of it, it's really easy. The sounds repeat, the patterns repeat, which is why I was going for tonality from the beginning. Any questions at home? So far, so good. We have 15 minutes, which means really 10. So I'm gonna get to the male, plural male and female, and then the infinitive. And sir, you'd be surprised how common that is. I'm going to run. אני הולך לרוץ, which literally means I'm walking to run. Or
More
going
like
to run.
Starting to run, or it's just walking to run? Huh?
Well, here's the thing, walking will interchange with going, which is why it makes sense. Starting is a different verb. Does anyone remember what this word means? This means they. Okay, him, they, speaking about a group of males or both. Hen, they, speaking about a group of females, almost like a chicken, hen. Hen הולכות. Yeah. Okay. Hem, note the final mem, identifying males. Holchim, and we see the im again at the end. Im, I'm going to transliterate. Okay, they are walking or they are or going. Speaking about a group of males or both. Both plural, masculine. They are, and remember that are, am, is, those are implied. So they are going, hem, holchim, and we hear the ending. Okay, so they are walking, they are going. Now the translation won't change, except it'll speak about a group of females. Hen holchot. Hen holchot. And we can see the patterns. Okay. I'm gonna transliterate. So the same thing, they are going or walking, except it's plural females, plural feminine. Questions so far? At home, in the classroom? Because I really only have 3-4 minutes to do the infinitive version. And talk about next class. And here's the thing, the more examples we do, the more words we hear, via music, via movies, whatever, we will hear those patterns again and again and again and again and again until we get it. Im, ot, en, em. Once you do it enough, it clicks. And me being a slow learner, self-declared, I'm a slow learner. I know I need repetition to get things. So by all means. And people are still writing. So I'm gonna talk about this some more. There's also, so we have the male alone, we have the female alone, males, females, so groups. All derived from the same verb, to walk. Okay, that's the infinitive version of it. And we just saw how the root is really 3 letters, Hey, Lamed, Chaf. Here we see it too. And on those roots, we will build the specific manipulation we desire. The same root will also be on the infinitive and other versions. Also the noun version. So I'm going to erase the top because I want to at least show you the infinitive and the noun version. So because I want us to see how the root will repeat and only the manipulation will change. I'm going to erase the top. So how do you say to walk? Okay, to walk. I'm going to separate it here. So how do I say to somewhere? Does anyone remember off the top of their head and want to impress me? To somewhere? I'm going to erase here as well. So to refresh our memory, Okay, so we still see the same root, right? Same root. These are three different things. The way to say to something, we add the lamed. La or le. We remember like ve and. So la or le. Just to refresh us, we did talk about this. So here we have the noun version. Okay, a walk. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, that okay. Halicha. A walk. So let's say we want to go on a walk. Halicha. I'm going to transliterate below. Okay, this is a walk. A walk. Okay, we're going to go on a walk. Halicha. Lechet. Okay, we see that twice. Triple dots. Lechet. How would you translate? It's like a going away, a going, a walking. So you see specifically this one in the Bible. Lechet, specifically lechet. You see it in the Bible. That is also a very core form of it. I put it there because I wanted to show you that to walk is la lechet. Okay, we have two here. If you remember our particle to, la or le. Sometimes you'll hear it li. It depends on the tonality, but la lechet, to walk. All right, question? Now here's the thing. It is 8:26, so I don't have a lot of time. I'm glad I managed to get through one example. I will say these are patterns. Okay, we spoke about patterns, so all the verbs from the same mold. So pa'al, the one we learned today, the simple one, their pattern will stay the same. Okay. Remember, in order to identify, we called him in the past quickly, but male past tense is how we find the core version of it. Not always will it give us, sometimes it will still have add-ons, but for the most part, it will give us the direct root of a word. Okay. I'm going to stop here and talk about next week. Next week is also in the synagogue. Before I forget, we are in the synagogue next week. Today, I want to remind us what we did is, well, a rehearsal of last time. We did possessions. We added yours. Okay. Shelach, shelcha, shelachem, shelachen. So either a male, yours, a female, yours, a group of males, shelachem, yours, a group of females, shelachen, yours. I will say a caveat, remember your own gender, people will understand, and we slur, so shelahem and shelahen really don't sound that much different in Hebrew when we speak fast. And so today we started the verbs. And I want to say again, I am learning as we go. This is a pilot class. There are things I'm glad about and things I'm not too glad about. One of the things is that I would have wanted to do verbs earlier, but the fact that we are doing them now gives me time to do them well on our next 3 lessons. And the reason why we started letters, very simple, and to here is because now we see how it's built. And the idea here is not that you'll lose everything you learned the day after this class is over, but at least that you'll have a working understanding, so you'll be able to learn in the future and after this class is done. So remember, we added today the infinitive form, and this is why I like using the infinitive form, because it has two in Hebrew. To walk, it's the same in Hebrew. La lechet, to walk. There are other examples from the nature of things. I did not get to them in time today. There are other examples on the worksheets and on the presentations. Please, for the love of God, get to them. We are seeing how 12 lessons, one a week is never going to be enough, especially when we have breaks. If anyone has questions, by all means, email me, text me, whatever, call me. I'll try my hardest to get back to everyone as fast as possible. I am sending you the presentation from today and the worksheet. I remind us that I changed our order. Next week, we're going to do a different particle. Today, we did verbs in terms of the syllabus. That's about it in my book. Any questions at home? Not in the classroom, it seems. So, thank you. We're good to stop recording in my book, and we can continue with life. Thank you, everyone, for coming and joining us. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Wonderful evening. Stephanie, ma'am, we can stop the recording and all of that awesomeness as far as I'm concerned.